Welcome everyone. In the previous session, we have seen SR latches. In this session, we'll see about gated flip-flop, gated and clocked flip-flop. Now, if we have to make this output of the SR latch synchronous with respect to some input, then in that case, we'll design a gated SR latch. So now you can see over here, this is normal SR latch which we have done. The input over here was, suppose if this was a NOT gate, it was S bar because this is a NAND gate. And it is R, NOT gate over here, R bar. Now how are we modifying this to a gated SR latch? We are going to give another input. That input can be an enable, clock or a clock pulse to make it as gated. So this is the enable circuit, enable signal what I have given over here. And this is the enable signal over here. I have given an enable signal. And this circuit works when enable is 0, enable is 1, and it is not working when enable is 0. This is an active high circuit. Active high circuit. Now what happens? I'll give an input as say 0 and 1. Now when I give an input as 0 and 1, if enable is equal to 1, then I will get an output as 0. If S is 0, R is 1, output should be 0. We already know that Q bar is equal to naught of Q. Now what happens if we make the enable 0? If I make the enable 0, I will not get any output. Similar to what we did in combinational circuit, the circuit will work when it is enable is equal to 1 and it won't work when enable is equal to 0. We shouldn't get it. When S is 1, R is 0, we can see that Q is equal to 1, Q bar is equal to 0. The output is in sync with enable. The output is in sync with enable, or the output changes with respect to enable. When enable is high, the output is changing. So this is a synchronous circuit gated SR latch. Now suppose if I make this enable as 0. Now what happens? If you can see enable is 0, it is retaining the previous state. If enable is 0, the previous state is retained. Now if I make this as 1, 0 and make enable as, I made S and 0. Okay, S is 1, R is 0. Enable is 1. Since S is 1, Q will be equal to 1. Now if I change enable to 0, the previous state will be retained. So let me write the modified truth table for a gated latch. I can write this as enable. I can also write this as clock pulse, or I can give an edge triggered clock also. Now I'm going to, if I write it as clock pulse, it will be level triggered, or we can tell pulses. But now I'll be considering only edge triggering and level triggering. I'll tell you what is that. Okay, before that, let me write the truth table. So when I write the truth table, what is the inputs? I have one input S and R, and one more input is enable. So my input is enable, S and R, output will be Q, as you know. So enable is 1. First combination will be 0 and 0. So here Q will be retained as it is. Enable is 1. Next combination of the truth table will be 0, 1. When S is 0, 1, since enable is 1, Q will be equal to R is 1. So it is reset. You can just follow S. If S is 0, R is, Q is 0. If S is 1, Q is 1. Both combination 0, 0, Q is Q. Both combination 1, 1, no change. So this is 1 and 0. So when it is 1 and 0, this is 1. And now when enable is 1, If this is 1 and 1, what happens if enable is 1? We don't know. This is a forbidden state, so we can write it as forbidden state. Now the next thing is, if enable is 0. If enable is 0, whatever may be your S and R, whatever may be your S and R means, this XX can take 0, 0 value, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Any of these combinations can be available in X. So whatever may be the value of X, it will always follow the previous state. So what is your previous state? I will write it as Q. So this is for gated latch. Okay. Now if we convert this into a flip-flop, clogged flip-flop. So instead of gated latch, I want to represent this as a clogged SR flip-flop. I want to change it to clogged SR flip-flop. Now what happens in clogged SR flip-flop? Flip-flops will generally be edge triggered. So what is a flip-flop? First, what is a clock? Now in clocked flip-flop, what happens? The input what I have given over here will change to a clock. Now in clocked SR flip-flop, I'll be giving a clock. So I gave a clock. You see how the clock is varying. It is rising and falling. This is a clock. So what happens when I give a clock, this flip-flop will respond either during the positive edge of the clock or during the negative edge of the clock. Let us see what happens. As of now, our clock will be connected. Based on the clock edges, our output will keep on varying. So I will give 1 and 0. Whenever there is a change in the clock cycle, this output will change. If I give 0, 1, as soon as the clock changes, it is changing. Now this change it will be more prominent during toggle conditions. Now if you see 1, 1, what happens in some states? That is the reason we declared it as forbidden state. 1, 1, sometimes Q and Q bar both is 1 and 1. But sometimes Q bar will be equal to naught of Q. You can see. At one instant, both is glowing. At one instant, one is glowing, the other one is off. So because of this condition only, we call it as forbidden state, because it will neither remain at 1 and 1, nor it will change to 1 and 0. So for that reason, we call this as a forbidden state. See, whenever the clock is changing, this value is changing. We can see this more prominently in other flip-flop cases. Now what happens? What about the clock pulses? Now a clock signal is either positive level triggered, second one negative level triggered, positive edge triggered, or it can even be negative edge triggered. Now what are these 4 things we need? Positive edge triggered, negative edge triggered. Now, what are these 4 things what I've told? Positive level, positive edge, negative edge. So let me draw a clock signal. Assume that this is the clock signal. So this is a clock signal which I'm going to draw over here. So there is a signal like this. Okay, this signal, if this is the on time, if you can see in the figure, this is the on time and this is the off time. If on time is equal to off time, we call that as the clock. We call it as clock. Now in this clock, this duration over here, whatever you see over here, this is the positive level. Anything, this becomes the positive level. As long as this is 1, from here to here, if your clock is 1, in this case, if your S and R changes, your output will change. This is similar, you can assume to be enable signal. This will be negative edge, negative level. This is known as whatever you see over here is known as positive edge. We call that as the positive edge. So this will be the positive edge, generally with the arrow mark. Whatever you see over here is the negative edge. Sometimes you can see the output only during this positive edge. If your design is based on this positive edge, you will get the output only when the clock is positive. That's why you can see over here, only when the clock is positive, you're going to get the output. Or you can design the clock in such a way that it will work only for the negative edge. In clock signal, the on time will be normally equal to the off time. Now this is the clocked SR flip-flop I've written. If suppose instead of clock, if I give an enable, then it will act like a latch, because during the edge, as long as enable is equal to 1, your output will when your input changes, your output changes. But in clocked SR flip-flop, what happens? If I specify positive edge, only during that positive edge, it will check what is your S and R, and your output will be available for you. So even if your output changes, say somewhere here my output is changing, negative edge, or somewhere over here my inputs are changing, S and R. Even if my input value S and R changes, I will not get the output until the next positive edge. So we call that as positive edge triggered flip-flop. So now let us do the coding for this. This is with respect to clocked SR flip-flop. When I speak about positive level and negative level, you can assume it to be a latch. Latches are level triggered. Flip-flops will be edge triggered. That is one difference. So now let us write the code. Now in SR flip-flop, if I take SR flip-flop, I have taken SR flip-flop. What are the outputs? Q and Q bar. Again, Q and Q bar are only the output. SR and clock is one input. Right. So input will be SR and clock. It is advisable to write flip-flops. If it's advisable to do coding for flip-flops using behavioral style. But for latches, you can use gate level model or your behavioral model. But for flip-flops, let us do it using behavioral model. Now register, all output should be declared as register. Now what happens whenever we are writing, all output should be declared as registers, Q, Q bar. Now how do I write a behavioral modeling style? I'll do it with always, right? Now sometimes we can write initial. We can write this also in behavioral modeling style. When you do functional bifurcation, first it is the initial, then it is the always. I told initial Q is equal to 0. I can write this. This won't make any difference. Only your initial values will be 0 and 1. This also can be done. But as of now, I'm not going to consider this. I'm going to write the flip-flop program. Always at positive edge of clock. So we write it as pos edge clock. In a Verilog, positive edge is written as pos edge clock, negative edge is written as neg edge clock. Always at pos edge clock. Begin. We call this as synchronous circuits because the input clock is a synchronous input. Okay, begin. Then case. Same I'll write case S comma R. I'm just simplifying it using case. You can write it using if also. Whatever we did as an example for latch, for if can be written. Same thing can be written over here. So it is 2 tick B00. Q is equal to 0. Q is equal to Q. I'll just skip Q bar. You can use Q bar. I'm just going to skip Q bar because I want to simplify the design for you. Okay. So Q is equal to Q. 2 tick B01. Q is equal to 0, 2 tick B10, Q is equal to 1, and 2 tick B11. What is Q equal to? Q is equal to 1 tick B X or Z. We'll keep it as X. And the last one is default because that is a syntax for case. Q is equal to 0. And I can give an end to end the begin. End. Okay. So now all this is initial. We have written it already. But what you can see is I have one more input as clock. Q, S, R, and clock. So I'm going to instantiate in the test bench clock. This line I've changed it. I've written a clock. Then I have S, R, and clock. I don't have Q bar. Done. Okay. Module name for the main module is SRFF. So this is done. Initial is done. Now, what about clock? I have not declared over here. I told clock is something which has both equal on and off times. So what I will do, I will declare the clock signal. So how will I declare the clock signal? Always say after 2 time units, clock will be equal to not of clock. This is how I've declared clock. Now what does this mean? Now let us see how an SR latch with enable works. Clocked SR latch or clocked gated SR latch. We are going to see a gated SR latch and then a clocked SR latch. So this is a gated SR latch where I have enable. And let me synthesize it. So after synthesis, you can see that I'll have one gated input and R and SQ and Q bar. Now this is the synthesis diagram. And let us see, you can see the detailed diagram also. So anyhow, we are not interested in the detailed diagram. We'll go to the test bench. Now I have the SR latch over here. Then let us see the test bench for SR latch. So here I have the test bench for SR latch with enable. So it is a gated SR flip-flop. It is converted into a gated SR flip-flop. Now if I generate the RTL view, so I've generated the RTL view. If you go to the top level model, this is the top level RTL view. We have R, S, Q, Q bar and enable. So it is a gated SR flip-flop. Now let us execute the test bench. So we have the test bench over here. Similar test bench to what we have used for SR latch. I've just modified and I've given the gate inputs enable. Now we have got the output over here. Now if you see the test bench, what are the test cases? If you see initially S is equal to 0, R is equal to 0, enable is equal to 1. So the first case initially S is equal to 0, R is equal to 0, enable is equal to 1. We will get the output only when enable is equal to 1. Only when enable is equal to 1, we will check for S and R values and Q, the output Q will be visualized. Now we have enable is equal to 1 at this point. That is from 0 to 4 time units, 0 to 4 nanoseconds. So from 0 to 4 nanoseconds, S is 0, R is 1. Since from 0 to 4 nanoseconds, S is 0, R is 0, what should be the output? Q will be equal to Q, previous state. What is the previous state? We don't have a previous state because previous state is starting from 0. Before that, there is no value for Q. Hence, it will be in X. This is a no change state. Okay. Next, we'll go to the next value, that is here from 4 to 7. If you can see over here, from 4 time units to 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. From 4 to 7 units, S is 0, R is 1, and enable is 1. So from 4 to 7, what is the value? I'll just keep it over here. S is 0, R is 1. What about enable? Enable is 1. Since enable is equal to 1, for the complete duration from here to here. So let me show the duration. See, for the complete duration from here to here, completely, if you can see, from 4 to 7, the value will be updated and Q will be equal to 0. So S is 0, R is 0, Q will be equal to 0. Next, what is the next cycle? Next is from here. Now what is this value? From 7 to, this is I think probably 11. 7 to 11, what is our S value? S is 1, R is 0. Enable is 1, so it is working. It is triggered. S is 1, R is 1, so our output will be equal to 1. We can see that Q is equal to 1. Now at this point, what is happening to this point? Enable is 0. When enable is 0, what is the output? See, when enable is 0, I'll show in the test bench. When enable is 0, okay, we can take it and go to the main program, and if you see the main module, when enable is 0, Q will be equal to Q. There is no change. That is what we have defined. So when enable is 0, if you can refer to the main program, I'll just see here. What do you do? If enable is equal to 1, these are the cases. If enable is equal to 0, it will follow the previous state. That's why I've given it default. So since enable is 0, it is following the previous state. So what is happening over here? You can see from 11 to 18, enable is 0. So what is the previous state? What is the state value over here? Previous state means this value. What is this value over here? 1. So this value is retained from here to here. Again, if you can just move your mouse here, I'll just keep. What is the S value and R value over here? S is 0, R is 1. What should be actually the output? The output should be equal to 0, but we are getting the output as 1. Why we are getting the output as 1? Because enable is equal to 0. This is how we should analyze the latches, gated flip-flops and clogged flip-flops. Now come back here. What has happened over here? Enable is 1. What is your S value? 0. What is the R value? 0. It should follow the previous state. See here you can see previous state is 1. So here it is before the timeline is the previous state. After the timeline it is the next state. So here it is at this point it is 1 and 0, S and R. At this point it is 0 and 0. So this will be the previous state and this will be the next state. Previous state Q value is 1. So when S is 0, R is 0, 1 is retained as it is and enable is equal to 1. This is regarding the gated SR flip-flop. Now let us see how the circuit for the timing diagram for a clogged SR flip-flop looks like. Now this is our SR flip-flop. Q, Q bar, S, R and clock. Always at positive edge of the clock, this is working. Flip-flops are edge triggered, latches are level triggered. So let us see how this, does our output differ from latch. Now let us see the timing diagram for the flip-flop, whatever we have designed. Now this is the timing diagram, what we have got. Now when you saw your latch, what happened? You used to keep your timeline and for this complete value, for this complete duration, S and R used to take and you are used to write. But what happens in flip-flop? It is edge triggered, I told. Flip-flops are edge triggered. So what happens in the waveform? You will analyze the waveform only at the positive edge. So this is the rising edge. This is the falling edge. Again, this will be the rising edge. This will be the falling edge. Or this will be the positive edge, negative edge, positive edge, negative edge. Now when is our flip-flop working? A flip-flop will generate the outputs only during the positive edge of the clock. So first you have to check for the positive edge of the clock and then you have to see whether you're getting the correct outputs. So first, where is our positive edge? This is negative edge. So the next one is our positive edge. See, is this the positive edge? Yes, this is the positive edge. During the positive edge of the clock, what is our S value? S is 0, R is 0. So what happens to Q? Q will be the no change state. No change, we don't have a previous state, so it is staying at X. Next, go to the next positive edge. If I go to this value, this will be the falling edge, negative edge. So next positive edge is over here. At the next positive edge, what is the S value? 0 and R value is 0. So Q is still in previous state. This is the falling edge. This is the next positive edge. So next positive edge, what is your S value? You can see over here, S is 0, R is 1. So when S is 0, R is 1, what should be our Q? Q will be equal to 0. It's correct. Then leave this. This is the negative edge. Go to the next. Until the next positive edge, you can see over here in the timing diagram, until the next positive edge, the waveform will not change. The waveform will change, or the waveform, the new values will be updated only during the positive edge. Even if S and R changes in between, you will not be able to see the output until you get the next positive edge. So during the next positive edge, what is our S value? If you can see, S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0. Since S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0, Q will be equal to 1. So this goes on, this waveform you can analyze completely. It goes on for as many cases as you have written. Now let me take the last case here. This is the negative edge. So I don't want to, the negative edge, if you can see, at this negative edge, what is my value? S is 0, R is 0. So the output will be the previous state. Now go to this. This is the positive edge now. At the positive edge, S is 0, R is 0. When S is 0, R is 0, what will happen? The output will follow the previous state. The previous state was 1. That means previous positive edge. Here it is. Previous positive edge is 1. So the next positive edge output also will be equal to 1. But you can see the S and R value has changed during the negative edge. But still the output is not getting updated. It will get updated only during the positive edge of the flip-flop. So this is all regarding your flip-flops. Now we'll see SR latch, how it can solve one problem. Now SR latches are used to solve switch debouncing problems. Now what is a switch debouncing problem? When you use mechanical switches, when you press the switch will not come to a fixed value as soon as you press. It will take some time to settle. So the value will vary between 0 and 1. So this SR switch is used to eliminate mechanical switch bounces. Whenever you press a mechanical switch, the value will not get updated immediately. It will toggle between 0 and 1 before it gets updated. So in that case, if you use an SR latch, it will avoid the debounce problem. So how is the debounce problem? Let me see here. What is the value? Initially I have R as 1, but later I made it as 0. When I make the R value to 0, what happens? It will go to 1, come back to 0, go to 1, come back to 0 until it will settle down to 0. Now during this state, it is, you can see over here, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So this waveform will also vary accordingly. So according to the R and S value, your output waveform over here is varying. So you have to plot the output waveform. This is to be taken as assignment work for you. I've not plotted it. So what happens here, during the debound state, these values will vary. Now if you have to get a constant output, how will it vary? How will it vary? You can see from here to here, what is your R value? R is 0, S is 0. When R is 0, S is 0, it will follow the previous state. Now here R is 1, S is 1. When R is 1, S is 1, it will go to an undefined state or forbidden state. Again, this is 0 and 1. It will take these new values, then this value, then only it will settle to this value over here, the timing diagram. Now, how is that overcome in the switch debound circuit? Now here, see, let us assume that initially switch is at S. So here this value, this is at X. Let me label this as X. Here I have X and this will be Y. So this point, let me take it as Y. Okay. So now what I'm doing, I'm assuming initially the switch is at X. Now initially the switch is at X. So what happens when the switch is at X? When switch is at X means S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0, right? Switch is at X. So initially S will be equal to 1 and R will be equal to 0. Now when R is equal to, okay, when my S is equal to 1 and my R is equal to 0, when S is equal to 1 and R is equal to 0, what happens to the output? The output will be equal to 1. So you can see over here the first state. Initially I'm assuming the switch is at X. So S is equal to 1, this value is 1 and this value will be equal to 0. When S is 1, R is equal to 0, what is your output? This output is 1. Okay. Now what happens? The switch is changing its position. So what happens? The switch is changing its position. That means the switch will be connected over here. Now when the switch is connected, switch is removed from X. Now when the switch is getting connected from from X to Y, it is removed for a certain amount of time. Now when the switch is removed from X, if you can see over here, when the switch is removed from X temporarily for some time until it is connected to Y. When this is removed, this value will get updated to 0. So 0 and 0, what will be your R value? No change. So Q will be in no change. When switch comes to Y, S will be equal to 0, R will be equal to 1. So what happens to our Q value? Q will be retained. Hence, during debound state, we will get the output as 0. Again, you can repeat it. Move the switch from Y to X and observe the output. So the no change state will be retained, which will avoid switch debouncing. So SR latch is used for avoiding switch debouncing. Thank you.